Hi guys! I hope everybody's having a great Saturday. It is a gray and dismal and soon to be rainy day here in New Brunswick. I know the east part of Canada is getting some gray weather and it's been nice and cool. It hasn't been really hot. We're getting some much needed relief from the heat, and I know that there's a lot of people in the southern part of the US that are not getting that relief, so my sympathies. But I'm rather enjoying the cool. So I don't like the heat and the humidity. It does nasty things. But the humidity by itself, especially in the last couple of days, has also done nasty things. So, as you can tell. So I hope that wherever you are, that you either have air conditioning or it's reasonably cool today. I have a couple of things. I don't have a shout out today. Been working with a new company just in the last week or so, and I'm trying to get more and more information about them for you, for Canadian customers, because I think you're really going to be impressed with them, because they've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. So my next week's shout out, I think you'll be happy with, because we'll have a lot more information for you. And but I do have a couple of things I have to shout out to specific people. And one is to our Linda Safranco. I wanted to send out a little shout out to her. I know she's had a bit of a difficult week last week, and wanted to let her know that we're all thinking about her and hoping that hubby is feeling better and that your stress level comes down a little bit. That would be really nice. And also to say thank you for everything that you do, both for the membership group and for everybody that joins us on Saturdays. Your help is always appreciated, and we love you for it. And I have a personal shout out to Sandy Barton. Sweetheart, I got your card the other day, yesterday afternoon. It came in the mail, and just wanted to say thank you. You make my day. I get little cards from Sandy every once in a while. It's just a wonderful little shot in the arm. So it came on a day when I was frustrated and tired and struggling a little bit, and it just made my whole day. So I wanted to say thank you to Sandy Barton. I did have happy mail this week. I had a lot of happy mail this week. I got some new pencils. I got some Caran d'Ache Pablo pencils, which was very nice, I have to admit, but they weren't the ones that I ordered. So, so I'm going to be sending those ones back, and hopefully they'll send me the right ones this time. So I got the pencils, but I got some great new surfaces this week. You're going to be so excited, because I am. I'm really excited. We have more teacup surfaces in, and I had to order some more because the butterflies, I think we've only got 2 or 3 left. But I have a new one. They are not up on the website yet, and the patterns are in process. So as soon as the patterns are done, we will put the surfaces and everything up, but you're going to love them because they're for the Christmas holidays. I think they're really cute, and I'm really excited about those. So we got those in. We also got ladybugs. So we're going to be doing a ladybug project. I haven't decided if it's going to be on one of the cattle tags or if it's going to be on one of the rustic signs, but we got ladybugs in, so I'm excited about that. The butterflies came in and went out just as fast. So I had over 300 butterflies, and they're all gone. So yeah, they disappeared very quickly. So I do have another order coming in. I'm expecting that to be in either Monday or Tuesday. So we have a ton of butterflies coming in. What else? We have a new mitten design coming up. Last year we did the little mitten with the lollipops. So I have another mitten coming up. And what else is there? Oh, and a couple of the little breadboards. So we have a couple of designs coming up for those. So a lot of fun designs coming up. I've had a busy week getting ready for my membership, because we are going to have a very busy week next week. And I have got to get my butt busy and finish painting a bunch of things that have been sitting here. The other thing I got, we got a ton of new stencils in yesterday afternoon. Those should be up on the website by Monday. All of the Christmas stuff is arriving. So we got all of the new Christmas stencils from the Stencil Studio. And we've got snowflakes ordered, and we've got the cutest little pin kit as the giveaway that's going out in orders that are shipping this week. They are freaking adorable. You're going to love them. And then, of course, we have giveaways every Saturday. And we have 3 fun ones this week. You're going to love this. Stamps and stencils. So the giveaway this week is courtesy of Tombow, Stampendous and Spellbinders, and Stencil Studio. So there's some really fun goodies in there, plus a few little goodies from us at tracymoreau.net. So you're going to love that. So we have 3 of those to give away this week. So I'm excited about that. So in order to get in on the giveaways, all you have to do is like and share, comment in the comment section, join the chat on the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, just hit all the buttons. And most importantly, hit the Tracy Moreau live follow button so that you know when we go live and when we have all sorts of fun stuff going on that page and on my YouTube channel. So that's all you have to do. Just participate. That's pretty much it. So we're in for a fun day today. We're going to be painting Mischief brand Catnip. I was late getting this pattern done. And I'm going to tell you why, because it does happen and it happens to all of us. This one kicked my butt. I seriously, it kicked my butt. The cat, no problem. I had no problem with the cat. Where did I have problem? Everything else. It has been at least 5 different colors. I painted the first one 4 times, sanded it off, repainted it 4 times. Yesterday afternoon, or not yesterday afternoon, Thursday afternoon, I threw it in the garbage because it was enough. It was now like an 1/8 of an inch thicker than it was when it started out. It was a wreck. So grabbed a new tag and then started from scratch. And then I was happy. But yes, it kicked my butt. Sorry to say it, but it kicked my butt.
Deb says it did.
Yeah, it seriously did.
I was there.
Yep. Deb, I vented to Deb. So I literally was at the point where I wanted to snap it in half and just do something else entirely. But I finally got my crap together. So we now have Mischief brand Catnip. It happens to the best of us, honest to God. I mean, I know as a painter, even if I'm not designing something, you have days where you couldn't paint your way out of a wet paper bag. I had a week like that. I couldn't get anything right as far as painting, designing, color choices, none of it worked. So yesterday afternoon, I did a Zoom class, had a wonderful afternoon, just sat, painted, giggled, talked, chatted, and it was just a great afternoon, and all is right with my world again.
Patrick's wondering, where do you get the energy to paint something 5 times?
I was questioning that myself. Because I wanted to snap it in half. It was not going well.
Apparently Sheila's in a rut too.
It happens. It happens. Some days you're just incredibly creative and everything seems to fall into place. And then other days it's like, why do I do this for a living? Because you can't for the life of you figure out if you're good at it or not. So, yeah, it was Mischief brand Catnip. It's a fun one. It is fun when you get it right. It's fun when you get it right. I was ready to just, turn it into a frisbee the other day. So I got over my little temper tantrum and decided not to overthink it, which was part of the problem. I get my own way. I don't need anybody to get in my way. I can get there all by my lonesome. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I promise you, it's going to be a lot easier on you than it was on me. So it is going to be a fun one. And add to that we have some fun giveaways. And we obviously have a sense of humor about everything.
Yes.
And so if you guys are ready to get started on Mischief brand Catnip, so am I.
Right, I don't have a mouse.
You don't have a mouse?
No, I don't have a mouse.
But you have fingers.
I have fingers. Yeah, I did it.
Mischief brand Catnip. This is a fun one to paint. It's not difficult, but it is fun.
You might notice the camera's a little different.
Yeah, our other camera decided to pack it in today.
Yeah, something's going on with that one. I don't know what's going on.
It worked fine yesterday.
I know.
I zoomed all afternoon. But yes. So Mischief brand Catnip. This one is a simple paint. It is a lot of fun, and thankfully it's not as difficult as I made it. So we're going to start with the background and all of that fun floral that's back there. I'm using this is slippery for some reason today. I'm using a 1/2-inch check stencil. It's one of my favorites. We're going to use a 1/2-inch Stencil Pro stencil brush and a little bit of cobblestone, which is my favorite color for this. The base color for this one is Prussian blue. I've got one coat on here. It doesn't have to be perfect. I love this color, cobblestone. It has rapidly become a very favorite color. And 1/2-inch Dynasty Pro stencil brush, that's the one I'm working with. You don't need a ton of paint in your brush. You're just going to pick up a little, swirl it well on the palette. And don't forget to blot on a piece of paper towel. Just so that you don't have gobs of paint on your stencil brush. And you're going to work in a circular fashion and change directions frequently. Neatness does not count for this, and perfection is definitely to be avoided. So, circular fashion, change directions frequently. The brush should be just about dry. So we're going to distress this. We don't want these squares to be glaring off of this background. I don't like it when they're glaring. Subtlety is the name of the game. And imperfections are just interesting. So fall seems to be coming very quickly.
Yay!
I know. I'm so grateful. No more sounds of air conditioners and dehumidifiers and, well, maybe.
Maybe.
I can do without the heat. I don't like the heat. I like the moderate, like what it is right now is perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Between 10 and 25 degrees. 25 at the peak during the day.
Yep, 10 degrees at night.
10 degrees at night. Perfect.
Perfect. I'm with you. I don't like heat. Don't like heat, don't like humidity. My hair does not like humidity at all.
What was that?
Somebody calling me.
Who's calling?
I don't know. It's strange. Anybody that knows me knows I'm... Don't know. There we go. No.
He accidentally called them back. Whoops.
What the hell? What is going on? My phone is just dialing randomly. Whatever. Good grief. There we go. Too funny.
The gremlins. Oh, yes. The gremlins are out.
Yes, cameras aren't working. It's been one of those weeks. It just seems like everything electronic has just, given me nothing but grief. So, as you can see, these squares are not perfect. They're a little distressed and a little worn, and we're going to wear them a bit more. I'll grab my stencil brush.
Huh?
And here we go. So I'm going to wear right through this. I want to wear that off just a little so that I get lots of texture and stria through that. Just like that. And then I'm going to take my paper towel, shop towel, what have you, and wipe off the dust. And then I'm going to use my fugly brush and a little bit of water just to wipe off the excess. And look at that. We get all of our color back, but now we get that nice distressed appearance on those checks, which is what we wanted. So I'm going to dry this, and then we can transfer that line drawing and everything right onto the surface. And I'm going to show you a little trick that I use. It's not a rocket science trick, but it's a little trick that I use.
I keep getting booted off chat. I don't know. Could be internet connection. Could be a multitude of things.
Yeah.
Jessica. Oh yeah, you're in Maine, so enjoying the same weather we are.
Yeah, it could be any number of things. We are expecting some thunderstorms.
So if we
Here.
suddenly aren't live anymore,
You'll know why. So I've taped my line drawing in place from the bottom and secured it well. And then I'm going to use a little bit of white graphite for this part. And my red gel pen. And the only part that I'm going to trace is the plant in the background. Just like so.
I, however, can't see any of the Facebook stuff.
I have all the Facebook stuff. It's Marge. A lot of people were excited about doing the kitty cat. We've done so many different ones. I have one for butterflies coming up. Of course, because I love butterflies.
What's up with the hand brace glove thing?
Oh, my hands are giving me grief.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Just...
Comes with age.
Hey!
Am I
With
wrong?
punching somebody, do.
But am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Damn it. It's all good. At least it's only one hand. Because yesterday it should have been two, but he's busy.
Slap him?
You know, if I could reach him, I would. And he knows it. That's why he's sitting that far away. Okay, so I've just quickly traced out the plant from the background so that I have it all on there. And then I just simply fold the line drawing back underneath like this. So it's still positioned well for the lettering, so I don't have to try and reposition it. I just leave it attached but fold it back. Simple little trick, but it works like a hot damn.
Renee laughs now, but one day he'll know what it's like. I already do!
He already does.
At one point, I was the youngest person in Canada to receive a cartilage replacement surgery. And then, nope, not anymore.
Not anymore. There are younger, but he's, yeah, he had a robot laparoscopic surgery done on his knee to replace
cartilage.
badly damaged cartilage. So I'm using a little bit of one of my favorite greens. This is lush green. Light avocado works too. I didn't have any lush green, so I used light avocado for the pattern because it was the only green I could find that was in that value or in that tonal range. So then I got some green. My lush green arrived, so I have lush green. Like I said, it's been a week. I ran out of paint. My fingers didn't work. Apparently, I didn't know how to pair colors this week. It's been a week.
It's not always about age. Sometimes it's overuse. Thank you.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
By the time I was 30, I had a bum shoulder, two bad knees.
Yep.
And a bad back.
Yeah. That's what jumping out of vehicles wearing 100 pounds worth of gear does to you.
Treat my body like an amusement park.
I'm not touching that.
We're like fine white. No, I aged like milk.
Yeah, that makes two of us. So I've just fast and dirty base coat. I mean, I do mean fast and dirty. It's very loose. These leaves are going to have a serrated edge, so we don't need to make these perfectly smooth leaves. So they're going to have that nice serrated edge. And this actually goes really quickly. So I'm going to dry this. And then we're going to use plantation pine to add some shading. And we're going to use neons today, just for Renee. Yay! He likes neons.
I like the neons. Welcome to our world. I was there 6 years ago. I wasn't supposed to be there until I was well into my 50s.
Yeah. Nah, he's always been early.
Whoa, 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 slow down. Can't keep up with this.
Does that mean you turn to V's? You're a great team. Hope your hand is better. So do I. Yeah, I know, Kat. I did. I ran out of paint. I had to order some asphaltum because I was down to like the minimal amount. So I ordered asphaltum. I had no green. I was running out of everything this week. I don't like it when I run out of paint. It makes me cranky.
Oh, wow, Tracy ran out of paint.
Hard to believe, but yes.
It happens.
It happens. I had it ordered, but it was just, I used more of it than I anticipated.
Is it true the neons are being taken away from decor?
No.
No.
One neon is being taken out of the line. One.
Which one?
Fiery red.
Aw.
That's the only one, or sizzling red, or whatever it's called. Sizzling pink is the right color. Yeah, the one that's on the discontinued list is the fiery red, but that's the only one.
What's the minimal amount of asphaltum?
For me, six bottles.
That's exactly what Robin said.
Yep, 6 bottles is my minimum. If I have 6, I'm out.
Not the red. Yes, the red.
Yep. We actually have, if you've seen them, the black light paints, and we do have a red in there. So I'm going to separate and shade these leaves with a little float right at the bottom where they join the stem, with a little float of plantation pine. And this also helps you separate those leaves a little bit.
Oh. Gloria Peters is now following.
Thank you, thank you.
She got the dot.
Yeah. There we are. So it's a subtle float. We're going to dry it, and then we're going to float a shadow down the center vein of these leaves.
Yay, I have sound? That's usually a good thing.
So we're going to deepen that float a little bit. Ooh, a little dark. And then we're going to float down the center vein of the leaf with a little bit of that plantation pine. So that second float deepens the color quite nicely. And then we get that nice little shadow down the center vein, like that.
Somebody got a Yorkie puppy? Who got a Yorkie puppy?
They would be so tiny.
Ever seen Chihuahua puppies?
Yes. They look like they're not quite done.
Chihuahua puppies are extremely cute. And they look top heavy.
Yeah, it's all head. Head and ears.
What were the pencils that you ordered that you didn't get?
Oh, the ones I ordered were the Caran d'Ache Super Color. They're the water-based pencils. Well, actually, somebody had said they were watercolor pencils, but yet when I went and read all of the information about them, they're not watercolor pencils per se. They are water-soluble pencils.
Okay.
So that's one. The Pablo are a permanent color. And the Luminance are like a combination between oil and wax. So each one of their pencils has a different attribute. And I was looking specifically for the Super Color because of that water-soluble thing. And also because it's entirely Mark Menendez's fault. So if anybody asks, that's who I'm blaming. It's Mark Menendez. So now we have shading.
What did I see there? Somebody was asking, I thought you bought Ashwalton by the gallon. If they let her, she would.
If they had it, I would. And the 2 ounces is the largest size it comes in, so I have to order 6 at a time. I use it on everything. It's like white for some people. You know? I use white on everything. It's like warm white. I wish that came in a gallon bucket too. So I've got all my shading in, but now we're going to use a technique to create that serrated edge. And the color that I'm using is Sprout, if I can find it. This is just such a great high yellow green. This one, it's a little chalky. It's got a fair amount of white in it. It's not very opaque, but opaque enough for my purposes. It has a really bright tone to it, which I really like. and it works really well for this particular thing. We're going to be using a chisel blend technique, which means we're going to be using the chisel edge of the brush to do this. So it works best when you have a brush with a really nice sharp chisel edge. You'll have a lot more control over it. If you have a brush that's, kind of been through the wars, I've got a couple here that look like this, and you see the difference. No, you don't. One has a nice sharp chisel edge. This one is flared a little bit because it's seen a lot of use. This one is going to give you a nice blended look, but not as sharp as we want for that serrated edge. So I'm using one that's got a really nice sharp chisel edge. Now for loading that brush, it's as if you're going to float. You're just not going to have quite as much water in your brush as you ordinarily would. And you're going to stand the brush up on its chisel edge, and you're going to set the brush right at the edge, like so. And it's a tap and pull. Nice light tap so that it creates that chiseled edge. And you're going to do the same thing on the other side, coming all the way down. And notice the heel of the brush is pointing back to where the leaf joins the stem. I ran out of paint. So I'm going to exaggerate this so you can see it better. Just aim and turn the brush so that the heel of the brush is always pointed back to where the leaf joins the stem. So we get this sort of rough chisel along the edge, like so.
So there's Teresa.
Terry gasp. So I'm going to dry that. And then you're going to repeat that with each of the leaves. And once you get used to the motion, it gets very quick. So it doesn't quite have as much water in the brush as you ordinarily would if you were floating. But you do need a little. And as I said, you need to have that sharp chisel edge.
Jeez. Oop. Again?
Yeah. Los Angeles calling me back.
Los Angeles?
Yeah, I think I hit Carol Manhart's number. Carol, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I think the cover of my phone may have done that. I don't know. So that little chisel blend, it's a tap and pull. Don't worry about the center vein just yet. We're just worrying about the edges of the leaves. So it's going to go past that green just a little bit. Speaking of catnip, our sweet little Airy.
She's a crackhead.
Yeah, we call her Crackhead now because, oh my gosh. So
She's not allowed to have catnip.
she's not allowed to have catnip because otherwise she would be peeling her off the ceiling. God, she's busy. Speaking of busy, we can hear her. She's in the family room, running back and forth, chasing something. So, yeah. And she just out of the blue tackled Gizmo yesterday. That was hilarious.
Oh, there's Linda Safranco. Just to let everybody know, my husband says he's back to normal. Thanks
Good.
for the well wishes.
Excellent. Glad to hear it.
Awesome.
And Miss Robin Storm has been painting up a storm, quite literally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, she's making up for all that time she was out with her shoulder. So she had shoulder surgery, so she was out for a bit.
Yeah.
Couldn't wait to get painting, and now that she's painting, she cannot seem to get stopped. So she's been a little on the prolific side.
Should almost answer it.
No.
That's the
evil part of you.
Yeah.
So
every once in a while, the devil on my shoulder face palms.
Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that my fairy godmother drinks a lot.
Devil on my shoulder. On a regular basis goes, what are you doing?
Yeah. Why? Would be the big question. Oh, goodness. So I'm going to dry this real quick. And then I'm going to put a highlight on these leaves with that same sprout. Now, because the sprout is a little transparent, we don't get that really bright highlight. So I'm going to just quickly float a little highlight on there, just down the center vein, opposite the shading. Doesn't have to be perfect. You'll see why in a minute. Oh my goodness. Not enough water in that brush. There we go. So it's not a complex piece to paint, but we're using this chisel blend technique for a lot of it. So there we go. We've got a highlight on all of those leaves. So I'm going to rinse out the brush, and then we're going to repeat the process with neon green, that thermal green. And this is where things get interesting, because we needed that little bit of white there to make this color pop.
Go! Green!
So check that out. So same technique, I'm just chisel blending at the edges. And then I'm going to float a little bit of that. Just pull that neon green out over top of that highlighted area. Now, if I did this just on top of the lush green, it wouldn't be as bright because it needs a little bit of that lighter value underneath it to make it pop, because the thermals are quite transparent. Thermals, the neons, I should say.
Cindy Jansen says hi from New York.
Hi, Cindy. Thanks for joining us.
Are you using a neon green?
I am. Thermal green.
Thermal.
It's a great name for it, don't you think?
Not
Thermal
really.
green. I know, because thermals don't really come up a color, but
Well, usually
I think thermal is really good. Great. Good name for it.
thermal imaging is usually either a red-blue scale
Yeah.
or a black-white scale.
Yeah.
I've never seen thermals in green.
Well, when you see it in movies, you know.
That's infrared.
Infrared, yes.
That's different.
Ah, okay. I suppose you can't really call it infrared green, can you?
Yeah, night vision.
Our little Airy, it sounds like she's just wreaking havoc up there. I love these neons for this. It's a great way to punch up colors. Oop. And it stands out really nicely. Gives you a nice contrast, especially on that dark blue. Itsy bitsy. My members are going to be working on faux finishes this month.
Faux finishes.
So hopefully they're excited about that. We're doing something completely different. I've traumatized them enough for a little while. But they did step up. I have to say, the drawings that they produced in the last couple of months have been amazing. Just amazing. So you really get to see just how talented they are, which is exciting. So we're doing faux finishes, and I'm going live with my members only on Tuesday night. They get to do their very first faux finish, which is they're doing a wrought iron, which is going to be exciting. So I have a nice little punch, thermal green, everything's highlighted. I'm going to rinse out my brush, and then we're going to deepen the shading a little bit with a little bit of plantation pine. I like to go back in after the highlighting is done, and it just gives you the opportunity to do this. So you get really nice sharp definition, and your leaves take on a whole different look. Some nice sharp center veins, like so. Just makes everything stand out really nicely. Nice crisp details. I love it. And voila. So now we have nice sharp lines, great serrated edges, nice pretty leaves. So now we have to worry about the flowers. So catmint is one name for it. Catmint, catnip. It has a little sprig of floral, similar to lavender, actually, when you see it. It looks a little bit like lavender. So I'm going to use a small angled shader, 1/4 inch, and I'm going to use purple petal and dioxazine purple for this. Oh, that's not purple petal. That is. So these two colors are going to be for the floral on this. Now, catmint can actually have come in a variety of colors. I've seen it in white. I've also seen it in a sort of a pinkish tone, and I've seen it in purple. But purple lends itself well for this, for me. So if you prefer to see pinks or even whites, then by all means you can switch out the colors to suit. So I'm using a 1/4 inch angled shader, which is this little one. You can use the, I've used either the faux squirrel or the water lily, but again, you need nice sharp chisel edge. And we're going to double load the brush. So you're going to pick up dioxazine purple on the heel of the brush, which is the back end, the shortest end, and the purple petal, which is the lighter value, on the toe of the brush. And you're going to blend them together. And just like painting lavender, you're just going to stand it on its chisel edge and tap. And I like doing these in little clusters like this. Just like you're doing lavender, just keep them fairly close together. And there is your flower. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Now, if you want them fluffier, you can make them fluffier. And I'm thinking I want mine a little fluffier, so I'm going to tap and pull and just make them a little fluffy, like that. And there we are. So we have fluffy little flower. Just this little tap and pull, always on the chisel edge. And we have flowers. Super simple way to do this. And now we have to connect everything. So we're going to use I'm going to use my Dynasty Micron liner, if I can find it. There we go. I'm using a 10-aught extra long detail liner. I love these. And I'm going to use a little bit of the lush green, and I'm going to mix it with a little of the sprout, just to make a slightly lighter value green. Should be about the color of celery. And then I'm going to connect my plants with that green. So connect your leaves like so. And then I like to take a little of the neon, and we're going to use a little bit of that just to highlight those stems. Just a little bit. You don't need a lot. And there we go. Catnip. So I'm going to dry this really quick. And we're going to tuck in a few little shadows just to lift this off the surface a little bit. I'm going to use my 3/8 angle for this, and I'm going to use a little of that Prussian blue that we used for the background, and we're just going to tuck a few shadows in just to lift some of these leaves off the surface a bit. Just come up to them, not too tight. There we go. It's just a little, and it's just to bring them up off of the background. So I'm going to dry this. And we're going to make sure that that is good and dry. And then I'm going to pop my line drawing back into place. And we're going to trace the letter. I've just found that if I do it this way, then nothing moves, nothing goes where it's not supposed to. Grab my red gel pen, and we'll trace out our lettering. This just simplifies things a great deal. The other thing I do is I cut out my design. I make a photocopy of my original line drawing, and then I cut it out so that I can position it so that it fits perfectly on the surface. And then that way I'm not worrying about that big piece of paper sliding around. I don't have to worry about things being out of kilter. And I really don't have to worry about realizing it after I've traced everything. Now, I base coated the lettering Mischief with a little bit of warm white first, and then I went in with the Sunny Day. Just because we have so many dark colors that we're working over, it's just simpler. Makes life a little easier. And then I'll trace the Catnip. Now, I like this font. Sort of has a vintage feel to it. And if you're looking for the font for Catnip, it is called Caramel Macchiato. I do like this one a lot, especially for fun things with a fun theme, Christmas designs, whatnot. I like this font for that. It's also very forgiving when you're painting it because it's not a perfect font. It doesn't have, super crisp, straight edges. It lends itself very well. So if you get things that are not quite perfectly straight or a little wonky, it's all good. It works very well. So the font again is called Caramel Macchiato. And I purchased this one from designbundles.com. I really love the selection they have on there, and you can purchase one or you can buy bundles. Makes life simple.
Where's Renee?
He's right here. He's just being unusually quiet.
Why is it less hairless brushes cost as much as a full brush? One of mine has 5 hairs.
Yeah. I have a Japanese script liner that has maybe 4 or 5 hairs in it, and it costs a fortune.
There's 5 hairs on my liner.
Mm-hmm.
Must have come from an extinct woolly mammoth.
So the nice part about having this taped in place is this. So I can lift it off, make sure my lettering is complete, everything is where it should be, and it stays aligned with the original drawing, which makes life so much simpler. And not to mention, I can tuck it back under. So if at any time I have a problem and I need to perhaps paint something out or erase something or clean it up, I can just drop my line drawing back into place without making a mess of my piece. And that's assuming that you didn't have my day this week. So.
His name's Phoenix.
Phoenix with the head tilt. Cute papa dog. So, Ari went for her shots last week. So she got her needles, and she was pretty much done for the day after she had her shots. And I've never seen that kitten sleep that hard or that long. But,
no kidding.
She got up Saturday morning like nothing had ever happened. And she was off and running. She was busy.
Inquiring minds want to know.
What do they want to know?
I'm guessing why a 5-haired brush costs so much.
Oh, yeah. Well, it depends on the hair. For one, if it's a natural brush or if it's a synthetic. That's the first one. But quite honestly, most of the time, most of the expense in a brush goes into either the handle or the ferrule, particularly with synthetic brushes. But natural hair brushes run very expensive. So.
And putting it together.
Mm-hmm. It takes almost as much work to put those skinny ones together as it does to put the big ones together. I know, I've made brushes. Working with Dynasty, one of the first things they do when they bring you into New York is show you how to make a brush so that you understand how brushes are made.
What does everyone do with so many finished pieces?
You give them away to family. Give them away to friends. Hang him up in your studio. Hush you. He's looking around going, really? Donate them.
Yep.
I gave a bunch of them to one of our charities here for soldiers, raising funds for soldiers, for veterans.
Tracy, are you taking a vacation this summer?
No.
Nope. Apparently not.
We actually are planning to take a couple of days here and there. I want to go to the island. The big one off the South Shore, not the Prince Edward version.
Not the Prince Ed?
No. I love Prince Edward Island, though. I love the beaches in Prince Edward Island. But I love walking the beaches on Grand Manan. And the shoreline on Grand Manan. I love it. It's just... And I could walk the boardwalks on Campobello until the cows come home. I just love it. So we're going to base this lettering with a little bit of warm white. I like me some warm white. That's another color they need to put in a gallon bucket. It's warm white. And the brush that I'm using is this one. This is a Dynasty Faux Squirrel. It's a rigger and it's a 0. I like the width of this. It's ideal for the size of this lettering. And I'm going to thin it out with a little bit of Joe Sonia's or a little bit of water. And then you're going to tap the brush so that it forms a square edge. And that just means tap it on the palette until you get a nice flat square edge. And then just place the brush, press enough that it fills the space. That's all you need to do. And then lift up and release the pressure on the brush.
My sister lives in Campobello.
I love Campobello. There's not a lot of people that live there year round. There's a lot of cottagers. But it's absolute heaven. I love that island. And I think the people that do live there feel the same way about it. The only thing that we learned on our first trip to Campobello, the first time we stayed there, is there's no gas stations on Campobello. You have to actually leave the island to get gas, which leaves you two options. You take the ferry across to Deer Island, where there is a gas station, or you can go across to Maine. Take the bridge and go across to Maine, but I love Campobello. Stayed in a cottage there, walking distance to the East Quoddy Lighthouse, which was fabulous. I could sit and listen to that foghorn all day. Just beautiful. And then we walked over to the Quoddy Lighthouse as well, which is quite a hike because you have to wait for the tide to go out. And then you climb down a steel ladder, down a sheer cliff, and then walk on the ocean floor across to the island where the lighthouse is, and then go up another 30-foot lighthouse steel ladder to get to it. It's quite something. But it's worth it. So I'm using warm white to fill this in. And this rigger, it's the perfect brush for this. There's a little bit of pressure, and it fills the space up just right. And paint comes off of it very easily and smoothly. Doesn't come off in one large glump. There we go. My hands don't quite have the dexterity they usually do today. Like I said, I should probably have the brace on both hands, but it's all good. See who all is on today. You make it look easy. Yeah, it does take a bit of practice, but it makes a world of difference when you have the right tool to do the job.
When our brush says faux squirrel, where does the hair come from? It's completely synthetic, man-made.
Yep. Faux squirrel brushes are a synthetic. They're what's called a multi-diameter synthetic. So essentially they are created so that they mimic a natural hair. So all of the strands that are in the brush are different diameters. So some are thicker, some are thinner. And even the handles are made from a renewable resource, wooden handles. So they come from reforestation projects or from recycling projects, so we don't damage the environment and we don't hurt any animals. But yet the brush works very much like a natural hair.
Faux is French for fake.
False.
False. Fake, false. Not real.
Yeah, it's just the synthetic is designed to mimic a squirrel hair.
You know some poor squirrel is out there trying to escape the person who keeps pulling their hair. Pulling their tail hairs.
There's actually, Dynasty does make, they make a huge array of brushes, and not just for the art industry. They make them for the police sciences. They make brushes for the medical industry. They make brushes for the entertainment industry and for the cosmetic industry. So they have a tremendous amount of experience making brushes, but they've also have a number of brushes throughout all of those that are patented because they have found more environmentally sound and more ethically sound methods of making brushes without sacrificing the quality.
Hello from Ottawa, Ohio.
Hello. It seems to me I've been to Ottawa, Ohio. It's been some time, but it seems to me I've been there. And I remember it because what was I saying? I remember it because it's our capital, our Canadian capital here. So okay, so we have lettering in place. I generally only do one coat.
What about the F?
What F? Oh, yes.
What F?
What the F? Honestly. How did I miss that? There we go. Good heavens. So,
someone is really determined on calling you.
Yes. And unfortunately, I can't shut the ringer off of my watch. I've tried. I don't know how to do that.
I'm in Tracy's head. When the phone rang again, I heard for F sake.
Yeah, for frick's sake. Frack's sake. So I'm going to grab my black eraser. I like getting rid of those graphite lines. The lettering always looks so much better once the graphite lines are gone. See? Look at that. Nice and clean. Not to mention, when I put this floating over, I don't want to trap those graphite lines underneath the glazing medium, because then it's impossible to get it off. And I don't like graphite lines, so I'm going to take them off now. And the lettering always looks so much cleaner once you've gotten rid of those graphite lines. Ta-da! No graphite. Oh yeah, we're going to talk about that too when we get.
Here you go.
What's that? Oh, puppies. Big, scary Rotties. Love them. I love Rottweilers.
Oh yes, they're so scary.
Yeah, terrible. Well, it depends. You know, I look at them and I see big teddy bears. Somebody trying to rob your house looks at them and sees, you know,
broken fingers.
Their death.
Broken fingers is what I see.
Yes, that's true too. And that was just a puppy.
Yep. All 6 months of them.
Renee had a run-in with a 6-month-old Rottweiler.
No, it wasn't a run-in. It was a puppy class.
Yeah. With puppy class.
My timing was a little off, and I got chomped.
Yep, accidentally.
Accidentally chomped by puppers, and he ended up breaking a finger. Rottweilers are great puppers.
They are great puppers.
They just don't know their size yet.
Well, and I don't think even when they become adults that they necessarily recognize how big they are. I know wolfhounds don't. Irish
Did you
wolfhounds
paint the brand?
Oh, that I do later.
Yeah.
So, the word mischief, I'm going to use a little bit of sunny day. And I'll remember to paint the F this time.
By doing it first.
By doing it first. So I'm just going right over top of the white. If I had started out with just the sunny day, I would have needed about 3 coats, because all of that dark blue, that dark green, it would have been impossible to cover it. This yellow, although it's not too bad, it's not fully opaque, so I would have all sorts of issues getting it covered. 2 coats, no problem. When you're talking 3 or more, it becomes a little problematic to keep the lettering nice and neat.
Jessica!
What'd she do?
She just donated $50 with a bunch of hearts.
Aw, thank you. The puppers, thank you.
So, oh my god. Mm-hmm. We're at 81%.
Of what?
Of our $5,000 goal.
Awesome.
81%. Jeez.
That's awesome.
We had a Lab and Great Dane mix. Oh, joy.
So, a cuddly giant that thinks he's a lapdog.
Yeah. 175 pounds.
Oh my dear God.
Jeez.
Well, I saw a thing yesterday about a family that rescued an Irish wolfhound. And now they have a Irish wolfhound rescue because they have 13 Irish wolfhounds.
Jeez. That's a big dog.
It's a huge dog. That goes beyond big. That's
why they call it a
giant breed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they call it a giant breed.
Yeah. But they're like big puppies.
Oh, wait till you see a large male Kangol. Mm-hmm. Can range between 180 to 240 pounds.
Oh my god.
That's a big dog.
That's a big person.
That's a big person.
Let alone a big dog.
But it's a dog.
It's a puppy dog. So, now I want this yellow to pop a little bit. For obvious reasons, because I like things to pop a little bit. So I'm going to use a little bit of saffron yellow. And we're going to put a little float at the bottom of the letters. And I'm going to bring that yellow about a third of the way up. Just about a third. Maybe half if I'm really feeling. So that saffron yellow is a transparent yellow. I love it. If you're in fluid acrylics, it would be a diarylite. It's a very highly saturated yellow. And I love it for sunflowers. I love it for the centers of flowers because it's just got this great heat. So we get that nice bright pop of yellow at the base of the lettering. And I'm going to switch to a bigger angled shader. I want something a little wider because we're going to do a couple of things. I lost my asphaltum. How did I lose my asphaltum?
I don't know.
So I'm getting my submissions ready for Chattanooga.
Chattanooga, Tennessee.
I'm really excited about that convention.
That's not till next year, though.
No, it isn't. But I'm getting ready for getting my submissions ready. And I am really excited about that. And I had so many people, I had asked before what people wanted for classes. And I've actually got some really great feedback. Which is great. So I'm going to float the bottom of the catnip. About 1/3. With a float of asphaltum. Neatness doesn't count. Perfection is to be avoided at all costs.
Oh. I took dog food down to our local shelter.
Nice.
Awesome. There are 60 dogs there.
Oh my gosh.
I gave them all treats.
How could you not?
I was surprised to see so many huskies. And I know exactly why you saw so many huskies.
Yeah.
They're either COVID puppies.
Yeah.
Or people who see a beautiful husky as a puppy and be like, that's coming home. Don't get me wrong. Cuteness does win points in my book.
Mm-hmm.
However,
the reality
is if you get one, you have to have two.
Yep. And they are a labor-intensive breed.
Yes, they are. They're a high-maintenance, high-energy dog.
Yeah.
If you do not research your breed that you would like, you're going to end up putting another dog in the shelter.
Yeah. Which is so sad.
Get a dog for your lifestyle.
Yeah. I don't know that we could find a wine-drinking, spend my day painting dog.
You know what it's called?
What?
A Newfie.
I don't want a Newfie. They're lovely. They're lovely. Sweet, but I could not own one. That would just, no.
They're just the hair.
Yeah. The drool.
The drool. Okay.
Yeah. Never mind the hair. The hair I can cope with. The drool I could not cope with. That would drive me nuts. So I just floated around the outside edge of this with a little bit of thin asphaltum. And it can be heavy in places and less so in others. And then you can take a little bit of it and just sort of brush a little out here and there. This is just going to age things a little bit.
A Bernard?
Bernard?
A St. Bernard?
My friend Andy has one. And she's a love. But again, that's a breed that no, I couldn't. I could probably deal with Archie.
Corsos?
Yeah, I could probably deal with, a golden. I could have a shepherd. I love shepherds.
Any shepherd.
Any shepherd.
Alsatian is probably one of the most laziest of the shepherd breeds.
Really?
Alsatians?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're beautiful.
They're hardworking.
Watch my neighbor walking his ridgeback.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful dog. He is just beautiful.
Is brand going to be done in pen?
Yes.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. So, we've got our floral done. We've got our lettering done. So we're going to tackle...
We're all on the lookout for the wine
I know,
drinking
it's
breed.
driving them crazy. They can see it. Has she finished it? So, I'm going to load up a round brush with a little bit of cobblestone. And I'm going to just add a little bit of a chippy paint detail along the edge. You can do a little, you can do a lot. It's entirely up to you. I like this broken paint look. I think I'm safe taking this off. So I'm just putting a little broken paint along the edge. Again, a little bit. I don't like it so heavy, but I like a little bit. It just gives things a nice little vintagey feel, a rustic country feel, which is what I was kind of going for here. I've kind of done this with most of them, most of these cattle tags. I just like the look of it. And it's fun, and it's an easy one to do. If it's a lighter color, I will use asphaltum or lamp black, if the background is a lighter color. And if it's a darker one, I like this cobblestone. It just gives you a nice chipped look. So I'm going to dry this real quick.
My next dog will be an Aussie.
Oh,
An Aussie Shep, yeah. They're a nice middle of the road in the shepherd family.
Yeah.
They're not quite super high energy. And they're a great family dog.
There we go. So that's nice and dry. And now I'm going to break out my white gel pen. I love these. This one in particular, this is the Uniball Signo in the opaque white gel. I like this one. I just find this one easy to work with. And it rarely fails me. And I have several white gel pens, but this one always seems to be the one I come back to. I'll try the others, but I always come back to this one. So I just use the white gel to trace that broken edge that the paint created.
What was that?
Just like that. Oops.
I got one from my hubby. Gave him a Shar-Pei male.
Shar-Pei. Okay.
Okay. And he had an American Blue Pit Bull.
Oh.
His cuz male had been fixed. We had puppies. They were wrinkly pit bulls.
Oh my gosh.
With the curly tail. Oh. That's cute.
Those would be cute.
I'm getting a pit bull Shar-Pei cross here. That's a cute. I like Shar-Peis, but I can't dedicate, 3-4 days of the week just cleaning those folds.
Yeah.
They just don't fit their skin.
Yeah.
It's like bloodhounds.
I love bloodhounds. What is it about them? The laziest dog on the planet, but when they get something in their nose, they'll go for days.
Yeah. Because they're prey driven.
Yeah. So I'm going to dry this, and then we're going to use that pen to take care of that brand issue.
They're really...
It will drive them nuts. They're decorative painters. They're detail oriented. So, yes, I get it. So, really?
The puppies were cute.
Oh, they would be cute. So, this is, because it's such a small lettering in here, that's why I opted for the pen. So there is brand. Neatly done with the white gel pen. Now, I'm going to take my black gel pen. I'm going to dry that because with me, I would smear it because it's been that kind of a week. And I don't want to. And I'm going to put a little line. That's not the right one. Here we go. I'm going to put a little line of the black to the right side of these verticals on this lettering. One of the reasons I love these is because it's so fine. It gives you lots of control. So just on the right side, right up against the letter.
Y'all naming breeds of dogs I've never heard of. You want to see a beautiful dog? Type in Thai Ridgeback. That is a beautiful animal.
Ridgebacks in general are beautiful.
Yeah, but a Thai Ridgeback is like a cross between a Ridgeback and a Shepherd with like almost no hair.
Oh yeah.
They're scary looking.
So that little bit of black on that Mischief just makes things pop out nicely. So we have one last thing to do. We're going to spatter this with a little bit of warm white. And I'm going to thin it quite a lot. I don't want a ton of it on here, but I want to soften that background. So I'm going to thin out some warm white and we're going to spatter like so. I do like me some spatter, so nice light. And then we're going to set this aside while we paint our cat. I like this. I like it a lot.
Good afternoon from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Wow.
Mogi das Cruces? I think that's how you pronounce it. Mogi das Cruces, Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Wow.
Okay. Boa tarde?
Sao Paulo.
Yeah, boa tarde. I think that's good afternoon. Boa tarde.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I don't have the greatest Portuguese.
I don't have any Portuguese.
But says good afternoon from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
I have
think
friends
that's what
that are
it says.
Portuguese, like Filomena Figueiredo.
Oh, okay.
She's Portuguese.
Figueiredo?
Figueiredo. Yes, Filomena.
That's who it is.
Ah.
Nia? Nea?
No.
N-E accent aigu I-A is the person. I've been doing
Filomena Figueiredo. Figueiredo is from the Gaspé region of Quebec.
Oh.
Well, not in the Gaspé, but further down. She lives right on the St. Lawrence.
Oh.
She's closer to, what's the name of the place? My brain isn't functioning today. So we have eyeballs for our kitty cat.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to put a little bit of warm white right here on that eyeball. And you'll see why in just a minute, because we're going to be using a really bright green. And I want it to stay really bright green. So I'm going to put a coat of white down so that we get that nice pop of green. Now, I'm aiming to get that same shade of green that's in the leaves in the eyes. So I'm going to base that with a little bit of white. And the color I decided to use for those eyeballs is sour apple. Love this green. That's my.
Oh.
I know it sounded like somebody was starting a harmonica.
A cavipoo.
King Cavalier and a poodle.
Spaniel and a poodle. King Cavalier, Spaniel, and a poodle. That's a weird cross. My son's boxer. Yep. Boxers are entertaining.
They're funny. They have great personalities. You want entertainment, you watch Steve leave in the morning. My next door neighbor has the most awesome golden retriever. Archie.
Archie the golden.
Archie the golden.
He's a red golden. He's not a true
I can't decide if he's like super smart or absolutely thick. But he is without a doubt
He's a golden.
Sweetest dog. But entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Every day.
He's a golden. Goldens are happy and they don't know why.
Yeah. well, Archie's in complete oblivion then. But yeah, every morning I hear the same thing. Archie! Archie! And then he just happily goes along his way. It's so hilarious. And poor Steve.
Breadboards? Well, they're not breadboards.
What?
They're cattle tags.
No, they're cattle tags. So
I love the Tracy and Renee show. Spelt my name wrong.
Who spelled your name wrong?
Sandy Fowler.
Oh.
Spelt my name wrong.
How did she spell it?
2 E's at the end.
Oh, that's the feminine spelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a beard.
So do I. What's your point?
Mine's longer.
Yeah. The difference is I have to shave mine more often than you do. That's what the difference is.
Ah. Sorry, Renee. It's all good. It's not the first time, and it will not job still gets my name wrong. Constantly get emails with too many E's.
Too many E's. Well, autocorrect is notorious for that too.
It's funny. There's more bilingual people where I work, and they
and
still get it
wrong.
And there's one person is from Edmundston.
Okay.
You'd think they'd get it right.
You would think.
No.
But no. What is he, like the only Anglophone from Edmundston?
No.
So, I'm going to fix my cat's eye here because I bubbled. There we go.
I forgot to sign in. How is everybody doing today? It's Mary Galliotto.
Hi, Mary. So I've been doing this color pairing thing on Facebook for the last couple of weeks. And it's garnered a lot of attention because I've used the butterflies as the mode of showing these color pairings. And so I've been actually working on a chart so that we have like a nice neat chart. And I was trying to think about the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to use the butterflies as the indicator for what they look like for this chart. So far, I have 52 color pairings.
Jeez.
So far. And I was getting quite a collection of these little butterflies all over the place. So I did all the photography, and then what I've done is I've started throwing them into order. So if you get a painted butterfly in your package, that's why. Because there's too many of them. So that you'll end up with a little painted butterfly. Some of them have pins on them. Actually, I think most of them have pins on them. So we have eyeballs, and we're going to use...
What made you go with a golden tabby?
I started out with gray, and it was just very lifeless, and
Bleh.
it just meh. So I decided to go with a golden one instead.
So you went with a fur bag.
I went with a fur bag instead of a gizmo. When Renee was growing up, we had a cat by the name of Money.
Money. He ended up, what, 14, 15 years old?
17.
17 years old.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He was 17 when he passed away. He was very old, and he had gotten sick very quickly. And the plan was to get him sorted at the vet as soon as we got home. We were away buying a house, and he passed away while we were away. So for the eyeballs, I put a float of plantation pine up underneath that upper eyelid, just to give those eyeballs a little oomph and to set them back a little so he doesn't look bug-eyed. So we've got nice little shadow underneath the eyebrow. And then I'm going to take a little touch of that neon green that we used on the leaves, and I'm going to put a little shot of it at the bottom of the eye, right there. Just a tiny little bit. You don't need much. But his eyes become very, very bright. So I'm going to dry that. And then we're going to add a small highlight to the black part of the eye. I'm going to use a little bit of warm white. And it might be a bit strong. I'll thin it out a little. So I'm going to put a little highlight just to the left side of that pupil. Like so. Nothing too strong, but just a little one. And then we're going to add the highlight to that eye on the upper left, just in from the edge. And we have eyeballs.
Eyeballs.
So I'm going to dry this real quick. And then we're going to add a whole bunch of shading and some chisel blending to this. So I'm going to start, I'm going to use that 3/8 angled shader. And Asphaltum, what for?
It's just this chat's moving.
Oh, it's way too quick. So I'm going to shade inside the ear, just like this, with a little bit of asphaltum. And then I pull it across so that it comes and joins with the upper portion of the head right here. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So into the ear and up, like so. So that's our first float. And then we have another one that goes underneath the mouth right here, underneath the muzzle, like so. Mile.
I have to ask, what's for dinner?
Tonight?
Yes.
Well, if the chicken I ordered comes.
Which I think already has.
Okay. Then we're going to be having butter chicken.
Sold.
I feel like butter chicken.
After that pizza last night.
Yeah, anything is better than that pizza last night. That was tragic.
That.
And I'm not a big fan of pizza to start with, so, you know.
Nope.
So I'm putting a float of asphaltum down the left side of this kitty cat. Just like that. And across the bottom. And this little guy is going to take shape pretty quickly. But I want to get this shadow in first, and then I'm going to put a smaller one on the other side. Like so. Look at that. So we have a kitty cat. And I need to paint his collar. So I'm going to use that same purple that we used for the flower. which is that purple petal. And we're going to put a quick base coat on his collar. And like I said, if you want to customize this a little bit, you can change the color of the flower if you like. So I'm using a little bit of purple petal for the collar. And based on the size of this collar, this is a chunky cat. This one's probably built more like Gizmo than Furball, so. Yeah, somebody asked me why we named our cat Money. That way we always had money at the end of the month. And he was a great cat. So I'm going to dry this real quick. And then we're going to shade the collar with a little bit of Diox purple. So I'm going to come in here and shade that just like so. Just bring that purple across a little bit. I've got a little too much water in my brush. So I will fix it. There we go. Diox is nicely transparent, so it works well for this. So there we go. We've got a nice little shadow in there. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with this. This little guy is very simple to paint. So a little asphaltum on my brush. We're going to give him some eyebrows. So I'm going to put a little float in the corner of the eye like this. And this is going to form the bridge of the nose. So there's that little float. And it gives our little guy a little more shape, a little more dimension. It's a simple shadow. Nothing too elaborate. So now we have to start creating some of the texture, those stripes that we see on this guy. And I'm going to start here at the top of his head. And this is a chisel blend, just like we did the leaves. You're going to load it as if you're going to float. And then you're going to stand the brush up on the chisel edge. And you're going to tap and pull. So you're going to get a little bit of texture at the edge, like so. And I am bringing it so that the point is always pointed back to the nose. And then I'm going to create sort of that M. Remember the M pattern on his forehead? Tabbies have M's. Just like that. And then there's nothing to stop you from doing this in the other direction either. And I like to pull that around. So we want to create a little more texture. So I'm going in the other way, back towards the top. So it helps create that nifty texture on the face. So and then you can repeat it a little narrower with a little more color if you find that it's not standing out. So we've got that texture on the upper part of the face. And then I'm going to take that same brush and we're going to create those stripes on the outside of the face. Just like that. Just a little. So it's a little tap and pull. And the same thing over here. So that first little one is going to create those tabby stripes. And you can pull them quite a distance. So if you want to make them a bit more pronounced, you can pull them in. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Easy peasy. And I'm going to dry this real quick. And I'm going to come up here underneath the eye and we're going to create a little texture there too. And you notice that I'm curving it back towards that stripe on the face so that they line up. A little bit of texture. The fun part is that you can manipulate this. This is just that first layer, so it's not as if you're finishing this in one go. But I love the stripes on our little tabby.
It looks a little darker on camera, eh?
A little bit. But again, I'm going to do the same thing inside the ears, get a little more texture in there. That tap and pull is really simple. So we've got a little bit of color, a little bit of texture. And like I said, you can darken it. You can pull it a little further if you want to. Like so. And then I'm going to take a little float right above the nose, right here. Just above the nose. So we've got a bunch of texture in there. So we're going to take a rigger or a liner and we're going to define this eye really nicely with some thin asphaltum. Just a little line across the top of the eye. It's going to define his eyeballs nicely. I'm going to do the same thing along the bottom. Just to outline his eyes a little bit. Now, I used a pink on this one for his nose, and I can't for the life of me remember what color it was. It was baby pink. a little bit of baby pink, and we're going to shade that with, I think it's joyful pink. Yep. So a little bit of baby pink for the nose. I'm going to do this now so that we get cute little nose.
I think you may need to write a book about your family adventures, particularly the ones with your animals and recipes, of course.
Yeah, I think we're having butter chicken tonight.
Butter chicken.
Or maybe I'll slow cook that for tomorrow night. No? And then have the grilled tenderloin tomorrow.
See, if you cook for tomorrow night, that
Yeah.
means I have to take it for lunch on Monday.
Yeah.
And Monday being Brunswick Day, and all of downtown's being closed off,
You won't have time to eat.
I will not have time to eat. So, butter chicken tonight.
Okay.
It's going to be a busy day on Monday.
No doubt.
It's like closing off Queen Street right at the intersection by the art gallery.
Okay.
So that entire, from the Crown Plaza all the way down to the walking bridge.
Okay. Oh, so all of Waterloo Road?
Yeah.
It's going to be busy.
Busy. Because they got a concert right in front of the Legislative Hall.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Uh-huh.
Happy New Brunswick Day.
How many protesters are going to be down there, do you think? All of them?
I don't know.
There's always protesters down there.
Butter chicken, don't know what that is.
Butter chicken is an East Indian dish.
Yes. It's delicious. Flavorful.
It is very.
Not the most appealing looking meal,
No, it is not.
but it's tasty.
But it is delicious. And it's one of Renee's favorites.
Yeah.
So I'm putting a little float of joyful pink on the top of that nose. And that's it for nose. Don't need to do anything else. So I'm going to take a little bit of my base color, which is raw sienna, and I'm going to mix it with a little bit of warm white.
How's that cat gonna breathe?
What? But his nose isn't finished? Well, I haven't put his nostrils in yet. But it will. So I'm using a little bit of that raw sienna, and I mixed it with a little bit of warm white. And I'm going to put a float of this color at the bottom of the muzzle, like so. And at the bottom of the chin, like so. Just a little. And I'm going to use that same color to highlight the edges of the ears. Just a nice little float. Doesn't have to be much. And then I'm going to chisel blend with that mixture the highlights onto our kitty cat. So I'm just using that same chisel blend that we used to put all the darker values in, and we're just going to lightly tap in a few more stripes, but very lightly and sparse. Don't need a ton of it. And we're going to do the same thing in here. Remember the M. It's just light. You don't have to do a whole lot. And you're going to do the same thing around the eye, but little textures. Turn the brush. I'm going to create sort of an eyebrow with some nice little highlights. Nice little textures.
I guess somebody took my challenge.
What's that?
I challenged somebody to look up Thai Ridgebacks.
Oh, okay.
Very, very highly controlled animal. About as controlled as the Belgian Malinois and the Dutchy.
Yeah.
Except the government's actually involved in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bought a frozen dinner of buttered chicken, and since you always talk about it, I don't know how to cook it. I bought it. It wasn't bad, but I'm sure it was nothing like the real thing. What food is Turkish?
Well, that's hard to say. I'm not
Shawarma.
shawarma. Yeah, I'm not familiar with a lot of quote Turkish cuisine,
Yeah.
but Mediterranean cuisine, yes.
Yeah, one and the same almost.
Even some Middle Eastern cuisine. So I like just highlighting and bringing in some of that. But this is the fun part. You're going to come down underneath the chin and you're going to start putting in some fuzzy hairs. Just like that. With that lighter value. And yes, you can overlap the collar. A little bit. Like so. Kitty cat. And I'm going to do the same thing on these stripes on the side of the cat too. Just like so. And then we're going to give him a nice fluffy chest using that chisel blend technique too. And I just pick up a little bit more warm white on the toe of the brush.
Famous Turkish dishes. Shish kebab.
Huh, there you go.
There you go.
So chisel blend like so. Good grief. I want nice fluffy kitty. So you're going to layer this chisel blending like so. I keep running out of moisture in my brush. Here we go. So nice fluff all the way around. Now, you'll notice that I'm kind of doing this in a U shape so that it creates that fluff under the chin and it creates a little texture so that it doesn't look like it's just straight lines everywhere. We wanted nice fluff.
I know Mediterranean food. I just got 3 pounds of frozen lamb last week.
Yum.
That will get me through the winter. Only 3 pounds?
Renee eats that at a sitting.
Hey! If it's good lamb, yeah, I'll eat it in a sitting.
So I'm going to deepen a couple little shadows, particularly around the muzzle and a little bit under the collar, like so. Now, we have a nice fluffy looking kitty, but he's kind of lacking in some of the finer details. So we're going to use a 10-aught extra long detail liner. And I'm going to use a little bit of thinned warm white. Because he needs some whiskers. So I'm going to use my liner to stroke in some nice bright white whiskers. 3 to 5. Not 6, not 4. 3 to 5. Just so that we get a nice Look at that.
I'm missing the ones on the eyebrows.
Oh, wait for it.
Is it an older cat?
It's an older cat. Yes.
He needs the whiskers on the eyebrows.
Yep. So, we're going to stroke those in with that fine liner. And I like a fuzzy chin, so I'm going to stroke in a few little bits on the chin as well. Like so. Don't forget the ears. You can tuck a few little strands in the ears. And then you can add highlights to the edges by starting your pull at the edge like so, and bringing a little of that white in.
Is that your 10-aught liner?
Yes.
Yeah. That is a 10-aught Dynasty Micron.
Yep. A 10-aught extra long detail liner. And then I like adding little strokes of brighter white to that fluff at the chest. Just adds a nice little highlight and a little extra texture.
Did you throw out the one that looked like his?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. He's gone.
He's gone because he was looking pretty rugged. I have my days, believe you me. There we go. So for all of the finer little details in this, especially when you want darker details, I like using my gel pen. And that's where I do, a few little details around the nose. I add a few little things around the muzzle.
Is there a tongue?
Nope.
No tongue.
No tongue.
Mind you, it'd be easy to
Stop
put
it.
one in there. Just
It
a little.
would be. Yeah. So I just add little strokes, details, whatnot, wherever I want them, quite honestly. Just tuck them in here and there.
Mischief. He should have a tongue.
No.
Mischief Catnip. He should have a little tongue sticking out. Just...
Yeah. There we go.
All right.
I like scribbly little details.
The smell of liver makes me gag. How did we get on liver?
I like, when I was growing up, my mother used to cook it with bacon. Bacon and onions in it, so it never had that horrible smell, but I don't like the smell of it either. The one thing that I really cannot stomach the smell of cooking is the kidneys.
Kidneys are gross.
Yeah, they are. No.
Get like a ammonia smell to them.
So there, we have a kitty cat. And of course, you got to put those little dots in where the whiskers go, just to make them look realistic.
Get the wheel of names going here.
And he's going to load that up. And I'm going to finish this one off. So we have our kitty cat. And we have our tag. And I had a bag full of little itty bits. Thank you. So I have a bag full of these little scrap bits of wood, etc. They're about 1/8 of an inch thick. So I'm going to use 2 of them because I want about 1/4 of an inch, roughly. You could glue it directly to the surface, but I kind of like having that elevation. So I'm going to find my glue, my favorite glue. My stupid hand is stupider than usual today. So I'm going to put a little bit of Aleene's Tacky on one piece of wood. I'm going to glue these together. A little bit of heat is set up a little bit faster. And I'm going to put a little dab of glue on the back of my wood bit. And I'm going to glue that in place on my surface. And then I'm going to add a little bit of Aleene's to the top of this. And then I'm going to glue the kitty cat to that. Now, you could have him straight up and down. I kind of like him tilted a little bit. It just reads more like an old-fashioned advertisement.
It covers up that M a little bit, though.
Yeah, well, you can move it because it's still wet. There we go.
Suits the rest of the cattle tag.
Yep. So there we have it. Mischief brand catnip.
Another great addition to the animal series.
These are fun. These are fun. I like doing these ones. We've done 9 so far.
Including that one.
Including this one.
Yeah.
And so I have 3 more.
You have 3 more?
3 more in the
For a total of 12?
For a total of 12. I have a butterfly. I have a raccoon and I have a fox.
Gonna have to make that one big package.
But they are seriously fun to paint.
The Farmer series.
Yeah, I think they're more like an old product, like vintage product signs. I think they're fun to paint and fun to create. So I'm just going to hold this one in place.
Not quite there.
It just doesn't want to stay put. And I think it's in a odd position. There we go.
Do you have a dragonfly?
I do, but not in this one.
But
not in this series, so it might be 13.
No. You can't do a dragonfly. These are animals on the farm.
Oh, if I have a butterfly.
Oh. Did you do a butterfly?
I have a butterfly, and I just got a ladybug.
I guess you gotta have to do a dragonfly.
And a ladybug.
And you did a bumblebee, so.
Yep.
I did. Honey farms. Yeah, they exist.
Yep.
What would you use a dragonfly for?
Dragonfly.
Salmon farm.
Yeah, salmon farm.
It's a thing.
It is.
Oh, there's one up the road here.
There's a
There's
whole
a
bunch of
sturgeon
them.
farm up here.
Yes, there is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's a sturgeon farm, and we actually have salmon farms all over the place in the Bay of Fundy. There's all kinds of them out
Freshwater
there.
salmon.
Atlantic salmon.
Is it?
Yes.
I thought it was freshwater.
No. Atlantic salmon.
Oh. Well, let's get the wheel up here.
So, before he switches the camera.
I already did.
Okay, never mind.
What do you got there?
These are...
I'll switch it again. Here. Ta-da!
This is one of the butterflies that I've been doing this color pairing thing. And I found this new product. I've been following this lady on TikTok. She makes jewelry, like really impressive jewelry. And she was using a product that kind of got my attention. And so I decided to get a small quantity of it just to test it. And I've been having entirely too much fun. So one of their 2 or a dozen or so of these butterflies have fallen prey to this new product. This is a UV resin. And so it's hard. You can mix glitter directly into it. You can sprinkle glitter onto it while it's still wet. And then you simply put it under a UV light or put it in direct sunlight to harden. And with the UV light, it hardens in about 1 to 3 minutes, depending on the size and the thickness of the application. Or you can set it on a windowsill and it's completely hard in about 15 to 20 minutes. So it's pretty cool. So I'm going to be playing a lot with that in the next little bit because it makes for some really fun effects. So it kind of got my juices flowing. So
Switchy.
And you can see I'm in my Sunday best today. I'm in my baggy, ultra baggy painting shirt, the one that is falling apart. I have a new one ordered. Because this one is just a mess.
There we go.
So again, all you have to do to get in on these giveaways is simply like and share. Join in on the chat on either Facebook or on YouTube. Or hit the big old red subscribe button on my YouTube channel or the follow button on our Tracy Morrow Live Facebook page. Any one of those things will get your name on this list. So Renee has the wheel all loaded up and ready to go. So he is going to spin it and find out who our 3 winners are this week.
There's the first one.
And we're doing a teacup next week.
All right.
Just saying. Thank Christmas.
Christmas teacup.
Christmas and cookies. We're doing cookies. I just had way too much fun with this design. I just haven't had time to paint it this week. So I'm going to be painting that today. That's my project for today. Is to paint a teacup. And it's Heidi Furlot.
Heidi?
Yep, it's Heidi.
Oh.
Her husband's name is Daryl. Heidi is finally on her way. She's been very ill for the last year, so I was really happy to chat with her the other day and find out that she has improved and is feeling better. That's good news. And we're happy to have her back painting. So I'm really glad to hear that. And I'm really glad that I get to send her some goodies.
Yeah. And boop. Hopefully I don't have Heidi on there.
Don't think so.
Brenda Travers.
Right on, Miss Brenda. So you're going to be getting a goodie box or goodie bag pouch. It's going to have stamps and maybe some stencils. And one of my favorite things, we've got these really cool little holders for your stencils. For slim stencils, it's these. They are not all that easy to find, but they're absolutely perfect for those narrow stencils. And so we've got one of those in there. And then, of course, it's like sending somebody a purse. You can't send it empty. So there's a stencil in there for you, along with a stamp from Stampendous and Spellbinders. So you've got that. It's Brenda Travers.
And the last one.
And the last one is
Elizabeth Zerby Hively.
oh wow. Let me see how that's spelled. Elizabeth Hively. Zerb. That's quite a handle.
No kidding.
So Elizabeth, if you take a minute, hop on over to the website and click on the little speech bubble in the lower right-hand corner and send us your shipping information so that we can get your goodies out to you as soon as possible. And we ask that you do that because it does take us a tremendous amount of time to find people in the server. It used to be easy. It's not so easy anymore. So, and we had an upgrade to our website the other day. So now we have a message system that kind of acts like a text message system. So it comes directly to me, which is kind of cool. And we also have sort of a chat bot that will help you if you're really stuck. So we can answer you a little bit quicker. So that was upgraded, and there's a few other little features that have been added to the website that you might not notice because they're fairly under the radar, but things that improve just how things are done on the website. So it's gotten a little bit of an upgrade. We did change the graphics on the website a little bit, and we've changed the format just slightly. It's, again, not things that are going to be drastically noticeable, but we're just trying to make some improvements to the website. So if you have any feedback about the website, its functionality, etc., don't hesitate to let us know. If you're having a problem with it, definitely don't hesitate to let us know, because we can't fix it if we don't know it's broken. And we had a couple of problem with email a couple of weeks ago, and several of you contacted me through alternate means to let me know you were having a problem. Appreciate that a great deal, because it meant that we could fix it quickly, and really appreciate that. So I hope you guys enjoyed today. Next Saturday, we're going to be painting a Christmas teacup. I think we're going to have fun. The surface and the pattern will be up by Monday. So look for that. And I hope you'll be able to join us next Saturday. To my members at my paid membership group, we're going live 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Tuesday evening. Can't wait to show you guys what I've got planned for you for this month, because you're going to enjoy this. And what else? I don't know. Just keep your eyes peeled. We've got a bunch of new patterns coming up for you too. Thanks so much for joining us every Saturday you do. We really do appreciate your support and the fact that you come out and watch. And don't forget, mwah, we love you. Stay safe. Do it.
Pet your dog.